Morning. Last time we were here, nearly a month ago, Steve, Julian, who's behind the camera, were stood here at roughly the same time, actually probably exactly the same time, 7:45. It was starting to rain. Actually, I don't think it was starting to rain, I think it's been raining all night. Sense of deja vu I was going to say this morning, but that would be a total lie because it's completely different this morning. Beautiful day, absolutely fantastic. A lot less water running down Sour Milk Gill than last time. Well, we're going to reenact, if that's the right word, our expedition of 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago nearly. And we couldn't have asked for a better day. The intention being to rerun, rewalk Scawfell Pike and Lingmell and actually see something today. Actually see where we got lost several times. So, I wonder what the day has in store. Steve looks happier anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to smile all day long.
Smiling. 3 weeks ago I welcomed Cumbria Tourist Board to this very spot. In fact, we were stood just over here, a bit more to the right. You could actually see Styhead Tarn last time, 3 weeks ago, despite the driving rain, the heavy cloud and the blowing gale. I mentioned deja vu earlier, and spot on, because here we back are at Styhead Tarn. At least Steve's with us today and not wandering off into the mist. And we can't even see Styhead Tarn. This is probably the thickest cloud you can probably encounter on the fells. Great advert for the lakes. I'm not wet, but I'm getting towards being off. Anyway, the point here was to talk about my favourite walks. This is probably becoming one of them. And those favourites I've got seem a long way away, a long time ago. Strange enough, one of my favourites is one of the smallest walks in terms of the smallest fells. Black Fell near Coniston above Tarnhouse is fantastic on a sunny day because the views are lovely. It's quite a quiet fell, it's quite rugged, it's got wonderful views down to Coniston, Windermere and up the Langdale Valley. Other than that, the round with Julian over Coniston and Swirl How and Wetherlam, that was a terrific walk. And with Steve up to Great Gable, up Great Hell Gate, I'll never forget that. There are plenty I won't ever forget. This one as well. There are so many because every fell you do, it's all dependent on the weather. And if you've got good weather, any fell can be a good walk. There's too many to mention. But do you think this will lift?
No.
It's a bit ominous, isn't it? Worst walk. No. The worst, I've been on several with Steve where we've been out in howling gales, pouring rain.
Thank you, Nick.
But actually they weren't the worst. They weren't the worst because in a perverse way they were quite enjoyable. I think it's one of those situations like the other week when we were up here in the pouring rain and howling gale that you get a perverse enjoyment from it. The worst have been several. One up Grassmore, up the Screes, where the weather closed in. I didn't know whether to come up or go down, and that was awful. That was just frightening. And then one winter's day in February many years ago up on Red Pike in Buttermere when the snow was in, there was a blizzard and a group of us walked over the cornice but realised just the right time to stop, otherwise we'd have been over the edge. And the Dodds. What is the point of the Dodds? There's no point to the Dodds. Great Dodd. What a horrible walk. Just horrible. It's like this. But it's worse than this because it's just one continuous barren slope of grass. It just goes on and on and on and on. God. What a waste. Just mulling over the plaque here in memory of Ian Hutchins, who come up here for a bit of solitude and the fine views. Fortunately today he's got no view and the solitude has just been smashed by a coachload of old dinks who, whether they tried to be louder, they couldn't have been. Thankfully Steve's seen them off and left us in peace now on the top of Lingmell. It should have been a direct contrast to 3 weeks ago. In fact, it's not much of a contrast. The only thing missing is the rain and a bit of wind. So here we go on take 2 of 214. I think we'll be coming back for take 3 and it's starting to rain. It's very peaceful. You can hear the gill down below. It's quite surreal, really. It would have been a fitting, well, it was a fitting end, really, wasn't it, to 214? It just wasn't meant to be like this today. Here we are, glorious Technicolor. Sun's out for the first time. In how many hours did we walk? 3 weeks ago and today. Fantastic. Lingmell, glorious fell, fantastic views from the top. We imagine, because we haven't actually seen them, because this cloud only now lifting. The vista of Great Gable, Kirk Fell, Pillar, Red Pike, just unbelievable. And then if you pan down, you see where we went horribly wrong the last time out. And found ourselves in the valley bottom, the big hike back up over to Styhead Tarn. But all that's forgotten now, because this is what the Lake District's all about. This is why the Cumbria Tourist Board advertise the lakes, the English lakes, heaven. That's it. That second round of Scawfell Pike and Lingmell completed. The highlight of the day, not just the cloud lifting, so we've got a view, but being mistaken for Ben Fogle. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but it seems out for our little recording. And the river is not as full as it was 3 weeks ago. Marvellous day, good walk, good views.